An icy rush of air, a freezing slipstream on the newly exposed skin. She is, with no warning, outside the inside, and the familiar wet, tropical world has suddenly evaporated, exposed to the elements, a prawn peeled, a nut shelled. No breath. All the world come down to this. One breath. Little lungs, like dragonfly wings failing to inflate in the foreign atmosphere. No wind in the strangled pipe. The buzzing of 1,000 bees in the tiny curled pearl of an ear. Panic. The drowning girl. The falling bird. "Dr. Fellows should have been here," Sylvie moaned. "Why isn't he here yet? Where is he?" Big dewdrop pearls of sweat on her skin. A horse nearing the end of a hard race. The bedroom fire stoked like a ship's furnace. The thick brocade curtains drawn tightly against the enemy, the night, the black bat. "Your man'll be stuck in the snow, I expect, ma'am. It's sure dreadful wild out there. The road will be closed." Sylvie and Bridget were alone in their ordeal. Alice, the parlour-maid, was visiting her sick mother, and Hugh, of course, was chasing down Isabel, his wild goose of a sister, à Paris. Sylvie had no wish to involve Mrs. Glover, snoring in her attic room like a truffling hog. Sylvie imagined she would conduct proceedings like a parade ground sergeant major. The baby was early. Sylvie was expecting it to be late, like the others. The best laid plans and so on. "Oh, ma'am," Bridget cried suddenly. "She's all blue, so she is." "A girl. The cord's wrapped around her neck. Oh, Mary, Mother of God, she's been strangled, the poor wee thing." "Not breathing. Let me see her. We must do something. What can we do?" "Oh, Mrs. Todd, ma'am, she's gone. Dead before she had a chance to live. I'm awful, awful sorry. She'll be a little cherub in heaven now, for sure. Oh, I wish Mr. Todd was here. I'm awful sorry. Shall I wake Mrs. Glover?" The little heart, a helpless little heart beating wildly, stopped suddenly, like a bird dropped from the sky. A single shot. Darkness fell. Snow. 11th of February, 1910. "For God's sake, girl, stop running around like a headless chicken and fetch some hot water and towels. Do you know nothing? Were you raised in a field?" "Sorry, sir." Bridget dipped an apologetic curtsy, as if Dr. Fellows were minor royalty. "A girl, Dr. Fellows? May I see her?" "Yes, Mrs. Todd. A bonny, bouncing baby girl." Sylvie thought Dr. Fellows might be over-egging the pudding with his alliteration. He was not one for bonhomie at the best of times. The health of his patients, particularly their exits and entrances, seemed designed to annoy him. "She would have died from the cord around her neck. I arrived at Fox Corner in the nick of time, literally." Dr. Fellows held up his surgical scissors for Sylvie's admiration. They were small and neat, and their sharp points curved upwards at the end. "Snip, snip," he said. Sylvie made a mental note, a small, vague one, given her exhaustion and the circumstances of it, to buy just such a pair of scissors, in case of similar emergency. Unlikely it was true. Or a knife, a good sharp knife to be carried on one's person at all times, like the robber girl in The Snow Queen. "You were lucky I got here in time," Dr. Fellows said, "before the snow closed the roads. I called for Mrs. Haddock, the midwife, but I believe she is stuck somewhere outside Chalfont St. Peter." "Mrs. Haddock," Sylvie said, and frowned. Bridget laughed out loud, and then quickly mumbled, sorry, sir." Sylvie supposed that she and Bridget were both on the edge of hysteria. Hardly surprising. "Bog Irish," Dr. Fellows muttered. "Bridget's only a scullery maid, a child herself. I'm very grateful to her. It all happened so quickly." Sylvie thought how much she wanted to be alone, how she was never alone. "You must stay until morning, I suppose, Doctor," she said reluctantly. "Well, yes, I suppose I must," Dr. Fellows said, equally reluctantly.